Hello, everyone. We're going live. my my alarm just went off to let me know that it was time to go live. Okay, so if if you are joining us live today, would you in the comment just type in hashtag live, or if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, and tell us where you're from. We love to know where people are from. For example, I'm coming in from San Francisco, California today. Usually I come in from Mexico, and my guest is coming in from the UK. We will find out exactly where in the UK. And also, if you want to comment, please allow StreamYard to use your name. It tells you how to do that. And if you just want to react, then of course, thumbs up. But you know what? We love those hearts. Give us a lot of hearts. Hearts, hearts, hearts are what we love. So, as usual, I usually start by telling you how my awesome guest today and I met. We met online. And I'm going to repeat again, we meet the nicest people online. I have just met the nicest people online. I used to be afraid to meet people online because I thought, oh my God, they're going to take advantage of me. But that's not so. It's been so wonderful to meet wonderful people online. You know, my guest and I have three mentors that are the same. We have Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Maya Comerota. And we're in the same industry, which is the self-education industry. And we actually met, I saw her for the first time on the Own Your Future Challenge, which was the 5-day challenge that Tony and Dean did to promote their Progress Next program this year. Now, the Progress Next is the next level of the KBB program, as you know, I've explained it before, that the KBB program is a knowledge business blueprint that was started by Tony and Dean in 2019. And this year, when they launched it, they improved the program, and they called it the Program Next. And it's made up of the course, which is digital product system, an 8-week walkthrough, 3 months free of the mastermind.com platform, and a ticket to the World Summit 2021. And for all of you, one of the first times that I saw my awesome guest was at the Own Your Future Challenge. So please meet my awesome Claire Louise Owen. Hi, Claire. How are you?
Hello, Lucy. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. So tell me, you're in the UK. Where in the UK are you?
I'm actually based in North Wales. I'm from the northeast of England, but I live now in North Wales, right beside the beach.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So, you know, you have been featured all over, as far as I'm concerned, all over the internet lately.
Everywhere.
You were featured by Dean at the Own Your Future Challenge, and you told your story. And then you were featured again at the World Summit with Tony, correct? And then recently with Maya, twice with Maya. So tell me, how do you know Tony and Dean and Maya? Can we start there?
Definitely. It's interesting because I have the book that started my journey right here.
Wonderful.
It was part of my journey when I decided to stop drinking alcohol, because I was drinking too much, too often, and it was starting to affect all areas of my life. And when I decided that I was going to quit, I thought, well, what am I going to do? Instead of picking up a glass of wine, what am I going to do?
Right.
So I ordered loads of books off the internet, and my thing is personal development. It always has been. I was inspired years ago from a community education project. And I'd lost my way when I had children. I'd never went back to learning. And so these books just kind of lit me up. I think it was 2 for 3 or something, Tony's. And it was one of the first ones I picked up, and he said, only 5% of the people who buy this book will read it. And I was like, challenge on.
For sure. So was that, so of course I know that you've taken lots of courses, and you obviously, okay, so you did read those 3 books. That was an introduction to Tony, your mentor. How did you come to Program Next? which
I
is
think
where I met you.
it was something I'd always wanted to do, some coaching with Tony. And I think I
Okay.
approached him before I was ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I got on the call, and I can remember being oh, how much are they going to say? And oh, they said $5,000 or whatever. And I nearly fell off my chair, and I didn't really know what to do. I was like, oh, and I just thought, I'm not ready for that. I was in a business I was trying to get out of, but it had parked it. Like I'd put it on my vision board.
So what did the progress next? Progress.
Finish the question, Lucy. What happened was, then I went on my own journey, not thinking that this was, I don't know, this was kind of going to be what, once I was a success, I was going to go back, and I don't know, I kind of wanted to do it on a smaller scale until I got some confidence, maybe. And so if I went up and made all the mistakes and spent loads of money that I didn't need to spend, and then I saw the advert for the Project Next where he'd got himself together with Dean, and I hadn't heard of Dean at the time. And it just was perfect. It was exactly what I needed at exactly the right time, delivered in exactly the right way. And I thought, oh, go on then, I'll sign up. And I think it was more than approachable for me, especially, I think it was what was it? I think it was about $900 or something.
It was $997, I think, at the time. Yes.
How much? I can't remember how much I paid for it. But
yeah,
it was everything that I needed. And if I had found that as soon as I'd looked at that book, I would have saved myself a lot of time and a lot of money.
So why do you think that Program Next was exactly what you needed? What did it do for you?
I think it was the way that it was broken down. And obviously Dean is just the best teacher in the world.
Yes.
He has
the marketing guru.
But the way that he teaches, the way that he breaks it down into, like, well, they all do, don't they? They've got a style where they give you these little nuggets that you can remember, and they encourage you, they actively encourage you to pass it on, which is like, that suits me. It's like a sharing idea, isn't it? It's like they all want everyone to just be a better version of themselves. Really,
absolutely.
That's what I get the impression, and it's just a lovely community to be in. Everyone wants you to like win. They're like complete strangers, and they just want you to win. They're like pushing you to keep going, because it's such a lonely, hard thing to do.
It is.
It really is.
Being an entrepreneur is a lonely kind of situation. You're absolutely right. But the Facebook group is a wonderful family. And so when we talk about self-education industry, can you explain a little bit in your own words what that means to the audience?
So for me, going back those 20 years when I was next door to the community education project, I was helping young people into employment in an area that was really high in unemployment. So, their backs were up against the wall. It was really tough. And next door, there was a program that were helping people who were like in their 60s, who were third generation unemployed, and they couldn't read or write.
Oh my God.
And at the time, the people who were running the project, they weren't getting paid very much money for it. You had to want to do it. That had to be in your blood, right? And so anywhere they went, they wanted to inspire people. And I was fortunate to be in their proximity, I suppose. So I would go in and I would, photocopy things that probably didn't need photocopying. And I'd be listening. And they had a thing called the Freedom Project. And they used to help women who were in, awful situations and bad marriages and just rock bottom. And I was nowhere near any of that, but I picked up a lot of knowledge from there, and I could see the value in, investing in yourself. So I went back into education, and I did my adult teaching certificate. And then I did my certificate in adult education, which enables me to write a curriculum and deliver training. All inspired from being next door to them. And I think Dean reminds me so much of the guy who's called Derek, and I don't know, there's something that's very similar about them both. That speaks to me. I don't know.
Wow, my God, you didn't know how the universe was preparing you exactly for what you're doing today. It's
Oh,
unbelievable. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's just, these little education projects and people just giving you those little sparks of inspiration. I can remember being passionate about what I wanted to do, and I shared that with the right person at the right time, and she said,
right,
I can see you speaking on a stage about this one day. And at the time I couldn't see it, but
right.
I can now.
Absolutely. So, I mean, before you got into, well, I mean, do you call you are a coach, right? You
Yeah,
consider
I class
yourself,
myself as a coach,
yeah.
yes.
But before that, you were in a business of your own, didn't you? Were you not in property investment
Yes,
or something
yes.
like that?
I started my own
Mm,
business. So after I was working in the education project, I moved on to support people more one-to-one. So people who wanted to start their own business, or
mhm,
people who had been, a lot of them were made redundant. So they were, you know, having to find something, and it wasn't a very nice situation. It wasn't that they were like, oh, I would like, it was like, I need, they
yeah,
needed the
mhm,
support. And so though that skill was always there, I was always wanting to be that person. And then when I had my children, I didn't want to go back to work. So I decided to get smart and think, how can I create something that I can do at home? And so again, proximity, I had been inspired by someone who had invested in property. So that's what I started to do. And we ended up, I was managing 50 properties from my kitchen table
mm,
when my babies were just, both under 2. And it worked. It was brilliant. People coming and going for the keys. But after a while, I knew it wasn't for me. It worked for that stage of my life. And
right,
sometimes it's hard to say, right, that's it now. Nothing went wrong. It was a success.
yeah.
But I wanted to go back to that person. I wanted to I was doing all the nice things with the properties, but I really was wanting to support the people.
Yeah, so
Oh,
so so
the
you knew that,
girl.
yeah. Well, yeah, you knew you were meant for something more, right?
I
You
didn't know
you
that at
knew
the
that,
time. Obviously, all these breakthroughs I'm having because of the training I'm doing.
right,
At the time, you just know something doesn't feel right.
right,
And my
exactly,
reaction to something not feeling right was to drink alcohol.
right.
And I wasn't drinking it in a way, I wasn't hiding it from anyone. Everyone thought it was a great idea. I mean, drunk Claire's lots of fun. She's entertainment, right? Get along.
So
You
so
know?
I see, your business today is called the Soberholic, so obviously you had a drinking problem. Now, you were also married at the time, so was this a you alone as mom and wife having a drinking problem at home working, or did your husband participate? How did how did all that work out?
So, great question.
Maybe you don't want to go there. Tell me
No,
if you
I
don't.
do want to go there because he was my motivation. Because
Okay.
this was something I would be sitting going, don't you drink too much? Not don't drink too much. Remember the last time?
You're right.
And then I'd be like, oh, asleep. And then I'd wake up and he'd be at a party because I insisted that it was fair. It was drink for drink because I'd had a husband before who was rather controlling. And so this was me being me. And this was me like, yeah, the kids were old and the kids were with my mum. I wanted to be me again.
Yeah.
And when they weren't always with my mum, to be fair, a lot of the time they were in bed or they were there. I just managed to weave it into every part of my life, like everywhere. It was because I was having a good time, because I'd had a bad day, because it was someone's birthday.
Yeah.
Once someone had a broken washing machine and she came over and I turned that into a party.
So there was always an occasion to have a drink.
Yes, there was
Yeah.
always the answer to absolutely everything. It was the
Hmm.
glue that was holding everything together, and I deserved it. I deserved more of that. I want more. And it got to the point where it was the only time I was having fun.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So when did your mess, so to speak, become your message?
I think again, going back to these books, when I thought, you know, it wasn't connected. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'll get the books and they'll heal me. There was nothing wrong with me.
Right.
What's wrong with me, you know?
Right.
What's wrong? I was okay. It's just a little bit too much wine. I'm the same as everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But books were just, if I'd been interested in unicorns, I would have bought a book about unicorns. I didn't really connect the dots, you know.
Right.
I wasn't looking for answers.
Yeah.
Maybe part of me was, I don't know. I didn't feel like I was. It was always to find the message for someone else, because this was also going to be my route out of my business, because I saw something and I thought, as soon as I started telling people, I couldn't believe how many people were saying, oh my God, I'd love to stop drinking. And then I was thinking, well, why don't you? Well, if you'd love to, what's stopping you?
Right. So, you know, here in America, of course, when people want to stop drinking, one of the first things that they think of is to join the AA. You know, I don't know what it's like. Well, I see your reaction. It's not something you did.
That is part of my story. That kept me going, because I didn't identify as an alcoholic.
Okay.
And it was like, I would go, well, I'm not an alcoholic. Like, to me, that I didn't fit the profile.
Mm-hmm.
But then I kept thinking, well, I'm not that bad. And I was questioning, probably because of this sort of influence. Like, well, have I got to sit here and wait until I get that bad? And then I'm going to have a real problem. But at that point, this friend came back in my life, and I hadn't seen her for 4 years, and I watched her health decline.
Oh,
And
wow.
our marriage was over. Everything was like pointing. And I thought she needed a night out. I really thought what she needed was a good night out.
Right.
I didn't get it. I didn't understand, because I wasn't in her life, whether she was drinking because the relationship breakdown, or because the relationship broke down because of the drinking. It was hard to figure it out. I gave her a job, and I was in her life, and I was drinking more than her, and everything was crashing around her. And I thought, if this isn't a sign for me, like, I'm going to let my dog out.
Okay, that's fine. A dog. You know, they always let you know, please, Mom, let me go. Let me out.
Yeah, so it was just started looking at it and thinking, well, before I made any big decisions, I started having a big look around, and I didn't know anyone who didn't drink. I was looking at people who were older than me who were drinking and thinking, is that where I'm going? Is that what I want? You know, I was doing all the things that we're being taught to do in all these wonderful programs.
Right.
And I think that just seemed to heal any past hurt, or everything just seemed as if it was like falling more into places. I was looking after myself more. The more positive people were coming around me, and everything was just kind of moving away that I didn't, you know, that I knew didn't light me up.
Yeah. So actually, you took it upon yourself to just stop drinking, is what it sounds like. You
Well,
just decided after you saw your friend and her life deteriorating.
yeah, it took a little while, because she was still drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to the point together where we said, let's do this together.
Uh-huh.
And at that point, it wasn't like, you know, if we fail, you know, this is really serious. It was just two friends trying, like a diet. We were just doing it together. Mm-hmm. And I kept bringing this in. This is really hard. You know, she had lost everything, and I still had everything. But I was drinking more than her. And I was looking at the birthday cards and the fridge magnets that we give to each other. And I was thinking, well, at what point do we say, at what point does, and who comes and taps you on the shoulder and says that's enough? Because they're coming. But if you're sitting on a park bench, or you forget to pick the kids up from school, and everyone's, you know, really upset with you. So I just started thinking, well, bloody hell, how many other people are in this situation? And it was like, I went to the shop, like everywhere it was for sale. And I don't know what it's like where you are, but at different places in the UK, it's like cigarettes now, where it's hidden away.
Right. It is. Mm-hmm.
It's not like that in the UK. It's not like that in England. So you could go to the shop for shampoo, like a chemist, like a drugstore type of shop, I suppose. And there was just rosé wine everywhere. And I was thinking, this is ridiculous.
Right.
So I started researching and found out things like this, like that's how much sugar is in a bottle of rosé wine.
Wow.
I was looking for other evidence to say, right, how can I make that the enemy? What can I do for that to be the enemy? Because before I used to blame him, we used to blame each other. And
Right.
we weren't getting drunk and fighting. We were having a good time, but it was really affecting my mental health. And I needed more of it year on year. And my waistline was expanding. It needed to stop. And this friend, you know, we helped each other for a while.
So at what point, and then because you've been doing this business in the UK for about 2 years, as I understand. Not only that, but you're well known in the UK. You've been on radio programs, you've been on TV programs, you were featured in one of the magazines that is very prominent in the UK, 40 years or something it's been going. How did all that happen? I mean, I can see where you made the decision, that you needed to stop, you needed to move on. But at what point did you say, okay, you know what? I not only am I going to help myself, but I'm going to help other people too.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a
Mhm.
coach. How did where you came up with SOBERHOLIC? How did that?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, again, she had gone to a non-residential rehab service.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work for her. She was really honest to me, and she told me, she just lied and said it had worked. And I was asking her, what did they say? What did they tell you? Like, maybe, okay, you didn't do the program, but what? And it just seemed really, really weak and really, I didn't feel, I knew what I could see that there wasn't much passion in it, and they didn't really tailor it to her. It wasn't about what she wanted. It didn't work. And I just got curious, to be honest. I did it. I went and offered to volunteer there. So I volunteered there for a while. I got a job there, and I
Mm-hmm.
nearly took the job. They wanted someone to help people with drink problems with their tenancy agreements. And because of my property connection, it made sense. But I accepted the job, and within 24 hours, I was like, this isn't right. It's not correct. So I cancelled the job. And then I felt silly going back as a volunteer because I had pretty much got the job that I think, what am I doing here? And as I was there, everybody who was there had such stories, like they had these terrible childhoods, and I didn't feel like I was bad enough to be there. And that was really, that's just as bad as the opposite way around, right? Because
Right.
it was like, oh, but what, you just stopped on your own? Or what, you don't call yourself an alcoholic? What you do here? And I'm like, but it's still hard for me. It was still hard. And I'm
Right.
curious because, okay, well, why don't we look at stopping the people at my stage instead of waiting until they get to your stage? It seemed really
Exactly.
obvious to me. So
Yeah.
that's when I was inspired to start looking down the life coaching route. And I did a couple of little courses online and wrote a workbook, and it's just gone from there, really. And I think having the confidence with your message, and at the time I paid for someone to help me with my copywriting,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I did, this is important to me, and I do think from my heart, but I didn't feel confident with the written word. There's so many things that I had to get through to break through, and I've just put it out there and gone, oh, I know it's not
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
there's grammar errors, but I can't afford to pay someone. But I need to know if I can find my people. I need to know that this isn't just happening to me.
Wow.
And
So you were well on your way. You knew it. The passion, the fire was within you. You knew that you had
oh,
to help, and you knew how you were going to help because you yourself were suffering, and so so it was like, oh my God, I've got to help people who are at my stage, not at her stage. So how did you come up with the soberholic? I mean, that is so cool.
oh, well, I think again, it's always this stigma, isn't it? And it's like
Hmm.
when I was telling people I had stopped drinking, they were like, "Why? What's wrong with you?" And I was
You're
like,
right.
"Well, no. Oh, why are you an alcoholic? You know, it was as if there had to be a problem.
Right,
So I wanted,
exactly.
I wanted to basically have on my t-shirt to say, no, thank you, I don't want to drink, because that's me choosing a health-seeking behavior. I'm choosing to do that. But in my head, in my home, alcohol was the enemy. I had removed it from being, my husband wasn't the enemy anymore. Alcohol was the enemy. And I kept thinking like that and thinking like that. And he did stop with me for the first 6 weeks, which was absolutely brilliant. But then he went back because he couldn't socialize sober. So I had this wonderful husband, if I could keep him to myself. But as soon as I had to share him or go anywhere, he couldn't get past that. And that was really frustrating. But he did it. Well, not that he was ever trying. He didn't know he was trying. I was coaching him without him really knowing. I was like, "Ooh, imagine it's a year from now." And
so are you still together? Are you still together?
Yes, happier than ever. And he's almost 10 months sober now.
Wonderful.
It's his choice. And I think I need to be okay that if he has a drink, and I will be okay. It's just, it's a huge part of my story because I've done that. I didn't just want me to be sober. I wanted us to have a sober life, and I've got that now. I've got that now, and I never imagined. You know, we could drink ridiculous amounts.
You know, I mean, you know, it's. I mean, some people call it a disease. I mean, my father was an alcoholic, and it affected so much of the family and how we lived our lives, and so you know, and it never stopped until he died, and wouldn't you know that the man that I met and married was an alcoholic also, you know, and so we separated because of that, and we divorced
because we don't familiar. But my childhood, my memories of my parents drinking was happy. It was happy.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was
the cocktail hour.
Fun when they were than when they weren't.
Yeah, I know.
And that's what I wanted to create. And then maybe I was creating that life for my family. And then something made me stop because it was like I was encouraging this behavior and then trying to put a lid on it. And we would have gone our separate ways. And that is just a mess as well, isn't it? So
yeah.
I was watching other people and thinking, well, how can you get him to stop if you're drinking? And then I was like, maybe I need to stop.
Exactly. Start with myself, you know. Oh, that's great. So, okay. So you come up with the name SOBERHOLIC, right?
No, it's in the Urban Dictionary. It is in the Urban Dictionary. And it's saying that you don't have, I think the Urban Dictionary says, I was a soberholic an alcoholic for 5 years, and now I'm a soberholic. But I don't even use that term. I don't like the term. We don't need that term. In my world, it's more about find out what it is about being sober that you're curious about, and then get as much of that as you can, because it gives you everything that a bottle of wine promises you anyway.
Absolutely.
You just have to get the quality of sleep. A lot of the time when people have tried to stop drinking, they go, I don't like being sober. But you're not sober yet. You're withdrawn from alcohol. Give your body a chance. And then you're absolutely shattered and need lots of sleep. And then you're sober. You know, you need to get rid of the depressant that you've been pouring down your neck.
Right. Right. Oh my God. So how did you get onto the BBC News, and how did you?
I got my message, clear with my message, and then I've got a wonderful lady called Aga who does these photographs. It went during lockdown through my mobile phone. The technology they have now is amazing.
It is amazing.
And so I had this, reasonably priced photo shoot. And when I got the photographs, of course, it's like a Rolling Stone, isn't it? Because I had the wonderful words, then I needed the photographs. Because I was getting the photographs, I needed the clothes. Because I was getting the clothes, I needed the lipstick and the hair done. And then when you've got the photographs, Lucy, you're sharing them. Yeah. You're sharing them because you look wonderful, and you think, so I'm sitting there in my pajamas sharing pictures of me when I'm looking absolutely beautiful.
So why you make me laugh so much. Why do you think, Dean, of all the people at the World Summit or at this challenge, really the 5-day challenge, why do you think you got picked? Do you think it was your hairdo?
I don't know. Why
I'm
do you
just being silly, of course.
I don't know, why do you think you picked me? It's hard to see yourself. I suppose I just know that I was getting it wrong, because this is all to do with branding, really, isn't it? Because I was doing my words, which were probably all spelt wrong, and I was sitting with my own photos, you know, you just take your own picture, but I was looking at the ocean all sad, like going, will you stop drinking? You know, well, that's not me, is it? And nobody was connecting with that.
Right.
And when the branding photographer was explaining, you know, what you need to do is you need to smile, I was going, well, she was like, sure. And I'm going, like, if they're miserable and they're feeling really low, won't that antagonize them? And she's like, no. I was like, okay. And then when I saw it and it's all coming together, just the whole thing coming together, and then you just put yourself forward for PR opportunities and keep, like they tell you, consistency, yes to everything.
And of course, you know, I have to say that for the American, the accent is all very,
Can you
attractive.
understand what I'm saying, though?
Sure, of course, I do. I mean, maybe it's because I was born in Canada. I certainly do, but yeah, I think there's such an attraction, to hear the accent because I mean, at first it was Dean, then it was Tony, and then Maya twice. So let's go from here. I think your business has grown in so many different ways. You are now promoting lipstick. As I understand, as I'm putting on lipstick this morning, I thought, I wonder if she's going to think, I wonder if she's going to criticize the color of my lip.
No. I think that was just me trying lots of different ideas and being entrepreneurial, a little side hustle. I've got many side hustles, Lucy.
Well, I know, because you sell also, or you promote, I should say, spectacles, because they change your mood. Oh, and what's that?
I've got oils, I've got chocolate, because when I stopped drinking all the wine with all the sugar in, I started eating all the cookies. And so I thought, well, this can't continue. So then I found out about chocolate protein, and I started lifting weights. And honestly, my body has totally changed. But I'm 2 years sober and more, and then this. It didn't happen overnight.
Wow.
But this stuff's amazing. And then because
so that's your own line. That's your own product line, and so is it a substitute for?
No. I don't use it instead of a substitute for anything. I just use it so that I don't eat all the cookies.
Okay. But what is it? What product is that?
It's Arbonne.
I don't know what that is. No, I don't know what that is.
I could hook you up. I'll show you. I can tell you more if you're into that sort of thing. But I thought I would get myself into all of these different sidelines for many reasons. First, obviously, because if I'm using them and I believe in them, it makes sense. People.
Yeah, absolutely.
These fizz sticks are brilliant to take to a barbecue.
Oh my God. So you have a whole line of products here.
You just put that into water. It's like a powder, and you pour it into water.
Yes.
And you take one of them to a barbecue. Everybody wants one.
Wow. What about collagen? Have you gotten into collagen yet?
I have, but it's not a sideline.
Okay.
So if you can hook me up with the sideline for collagen, I'd be interested.
Okay, absolutely. Or somebody listening for sure. Now, also, I know that you, your mood, you wear spectacles. You call them spectacles. I call them glasses. You wear glasses according to your mood.
I say, where's me spectacles? I think that's just me. We do call them glasses in the UK.
Oh, do you? Mm-hmm.
I think that's me being old-fashioned and not realizing.
And so you have spectacles according to your mood. Do you? Right? Is that right? Do you also have a line of spectacles that you sell, or what?
There's a line of spectacles that I could that I do get a discount for as well.
Oh, that's great.
But I think the mood idea is because these are my ladies, so all the different colours. So I try to have spectacles and clothes and all the colours. Because some days this is Susie, which is the beginning of the process when you're stuck like Susie and you don't know, you have no idea that the problems in your life are because of what you're drinking in your glass.
Right, right.
And then you move on and you start observing, like Ollie, like you haven't stopped drinking yet. You're just observing. Maybe you watch this video and you think, oh, maybe, how would that look in my life?
Right.
A little bit like when you see a lady in a nice dress and you go, what would that look like on me? You start thinking, how could I live without alcohol? And then you just make a decision and you're bold and you say, right, I'm going to do it. Because it's not pass or fail. You just start engaging in life sober, and you just start saying, oh, no, I'm not drinking. I don't drink anymore. I'm not drinking. And if you come up against a craving, a little bit like our breakthroughs, you go, well, why is it that I want to do that? What is it what mood am I in, and what am I trying to change, and what other skill have I got that I can use, instead of just relying on that crutch. And this is my program. And then in the end, you become rebalanced like Riley.
Wow, that is so cool. That is so that's ingenious. I mean, so that's your five-step program, right?
Yeah, and it's SOBER. Susie, Ollie, Bessie, Elsie, and Riley. And so the idea is, even if you're here and you're at a wedding and you have a drink, it's not back to here. You never go back to here.
Right.
You just pick yourself up again, because it's not life or death for us, it's just that we don't want it to be getting in our way. We don't want to be relying on it in the same way that we are. I don't think I'll ever go back.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be forever.
Life's so different for you right now. So, your program it could be offered to anybody at any age, but actually you do have an avatar. You do have a special audience. You do have, what we call your ideal client. Who is that?
She's called Susan.
She's called Susan. Okay. I'm glad my name's Lucy. Just kidding.
Susan is, to the outside, she looks very happy, really happy. And to be honest, she can't really say what she's really feeling, or she believes, up until now, she believes she can't say what she's really feeling, because she sounds like a little bit ungrateful and a little bit spoiled. And so she just keeps it in, and everyone who she wants to spend time with is doing the thing that she's trying to avoid, and she doesn't know how to change that, because it's a big part of her personality. But it really nips every time someone says, I got you double because I know what you like. Or every birthday card has gin on it. And she starts thinking like, okay, this is okay now, but what at 10 years and another 10 years? Like, maybe she wants to become a grandma, and she's thinking like, I need to change. Something needs to change. I can't, I need to be someone else as well.
Yeah. So really almost, it sounds like you 5 years ago, maybe.
Exactly. It was me 5 years ago. More than that, yeah. Definitely. I think I've been in that position a few times throughout my life. And it took a long time for me to have a family. And maybe I'd hung on to that party persona because I couldn't get to the next level of being a mom. I couldn't get there when all my friends around me were. I couldn't get there. But I could do that. Make everyone laugh.
Right. That was the easy way out. So tell me, how do you, so you have an established business, you have a wonderful name, you have your ideal client. How do you market yourself? What social media platform do you use online?
Oh, right. I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook group.
Okay.
I've had that since about 2 or 3 months into my own sober journey. So I started it as somewhere just to find other people like me. And now obviously people are seeing me in the newspapers and coming and finding me that way. But it's quite closed. I don't let you in unless you give me your email address. Because I really I'm sharing my whole life, really, I'm sharing quite a lot. I don't go live on Instagram. I don't go live on my own profile page. Maybe that'll change, but at the moment I don't. I'm just in my group and coming into other audiences like this. So if people want me, they would go to my website, my videos when I was on the news are on my website, so you can find out a little bit more about that. That was very nerve-wracking. I was just here in this bedroom, and it was really bizarre because the screen was completely black, and I could hear him, but I couldn't see him. It was really, really strange. But I got through it. And I think it's just been like steps like that. Like
Right.
you do one thing and you just break through a little, fear or terror, and then you just keep going, the next thing and the next thing. And some of the things work and some of them not so well. And sometimes you do get the odd person who doesn't agree with your message, and that's absolutely fine.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone, and I've
And
never.
Dean says it so well. You'll attract the ones that you need and repel the ones that you don't need. And really, that's part of the marketing stamina that we all go through. So it is so interesting. You're very well known in the UK. You're almost infamous. You're famous and infamous. And now you couldn't have been on a bigger stage than Tony Robbins' stage in America. I mean, how does that feel? I mean, you not only Tony's stage, but Dean's stage, and now Maya's stage. I mean, this is success, beyond. And as I see it, it's all happened within maybe 6 months.
Yes, it was February when I got clear with my message, and like around that time I had my photographs taken.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it still takes a long time. I think I'm growing. It's growing at exactly the right pace for me. And the biggest thing is my confidence is growing. I'm getting these ladies who were stuck, and they're now saying that from what I've given them, and from that really not years of support, just being in my audience for a short length of time, people are managing to, if they're doing what I'm saying and they're going through the workbook. I've got reviews, I've got people who have said, and I've got on my website that they're not struggling with it. It's not willpower. They're not sitting there like this anymore, because like this, instead you're looking at what. If you were wanting to cut down, and one of your big motivators was to stop drinking, and you wanted to lose weight, if you went 7 levels deep with that, Lucy, using Dean's, and then you can imagine it's not just about losing a little bit of weight.
No, it isn't.
If you have that beside your wine glasses, you might think twice.
You would think twice. I would think 3 times for sure.
So it's just little things like that. It's not about looking and thinking, oh, my friends are drinking. Like, so what? Okay, fast forward 5 years, then what? Like my friend's not there. In the UK, 20% more there's 20% more alcohol-related deaths in 2020 than there were in 2019, and one of them was my friend.
I know. It's just in America too, and more women drinking now more than ever. So, the time is right now. I mean, so it's
about worrying that people are bad enough to quit, or whether they want a label or they don't want a label. I'm trying to put a fun spin on it.
Right.
I'm trying to say, look over here, it's not as bad as you might think it is.
Right, exactly.
Are you really having fun over there? Is that really still fun?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, you can build a brand new life, and which is what you have done. And so congratulations to you. So, I know that when we talked, you said that you had something special for my audience if they stayed all the way through for the interview. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes,
I know.
I'm starting. I've got my T-shirt on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet you sell those too. I'm going to want one of those too.
Oh, that's so bad. I'm starting on a Wednesday evening. Now it's 8 p.m. UK time.
Okay.
Well, because you never stay still, we never know what time it is. That's why.
Exactly.
Stay still.
Exactly. So every Wednesday night.
Well, I'm doing this Wednesday. So if people are wanting to register, it would be each week they would have to register.
Okay.
for the Zoom link. I mean, I'm like most of where I'm getting through this technical spaghetti on my own, right?
Right. Mhm.
But I'm there. I've got my opt-in page on Mastermind.
Okay.
So I've got about, I think there was 10 people the last time I looked were coming along to my Zoom on Wednesday the 22nd at 8 p.m. UK time. And I'm
Okay.
going to try and bring a little bit of Maya vibe. I want
How,
music.
how wonderful. How wonderful. How wonderful. And you have your pom-poms. I know. I love your pom-poms. I love the color of the pom-poms. They're wonderful. Very. So Wednesday night, and it's starting this week.
Starting this week.
8 p.m. UK time. What time is it there now? Because right now,
in 15 minutes, it would be 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So you are 8 hours ahead of us. So that would be 12 o'clock noon for us on the Pacific Coast, and of course it would be 3 o'clock p.m. on the Eastern Coast. So if anybody wanted to join these, and they're free, right? These free workshops.
It's free. And I would love to have some of Maya's audience there, because I'm
going to do it myself. So if anybody wants to join, they would go. The tickler down below says hello at the SOBERHOLIC.com. That's your email, right?
I've also got I can send you the link. Can I put it in this chat, or will I just send it to you after the call?
You could, or we could put it in the comment, and if you send it to me, I'll put it in the comment, because it also says that people can visit your website, and it's called www.thesoberholic.com, which is, very easy word to remember, soberholic.com. So can they register right there on your website?
Yes, they can register with the email address.
Okay.
And so next Wednesday it will just be a little bit of music to try and get everybody's vibe up, and then I'm going to share a little bit of my story, some quick training, give you something useful that you can take away that will be useful for you and your family. So it's not about alcohol. It's about, imagine you're sober. What now? It'll help with anxiety. It'll help with feeling low. It's all of the things. So it's not just about alcohol.
Well, that's wonderful. I just there are two comments. Keith Allen Weedman, who says, check out Claire Louise Owen. She's a kindred spirit. And Steve English, who says, sobriety is a gift we give to ourselves.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
That's very lovely. So I just want to thank you, Claire, so much for the work that you are doing. It's such, first of all, your personality, your charm, your good humor makes anybody want to be sober, really. So I really want to thank you for your time and your kind spirit, and really it's an honor to have you here talking to us. I personally will be joining this workshop, because I think it's going to be so much fun, because you are so much fun. And so I want to thank you.
Even if it's instead of a bottle of wine, instead of a bottle of wine on Wednesday, it might keep you off the wine on Wednesday night. You never know.
Right. That's right. We have to start somewhere. That's for sure. So do you have any last words that perhaps you want to say to the audience?
Just that, if you're worried about getting started, like Lucy says, just proximity, isn't it? It's just being around other people who you believe can light you up in other ways, because I feel like I've got my power back. I've increased my confidence, and my whole family are enjoying the benefits of a healthier me.
Oh, wonderful. And so there's a great message for all of you. I want to thank you, Claire, again for being with us today. I want to thank my audience for being with us today. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for your comments. And also I want to just mention that next week I will be traveling next Thursday back to Mexico. So there won't be an interview, but in 2 weeks there will be. So I'll see you in about 2 weeks. And so thank you very much for your time, for your presence with us, Claire, and have a nice day, or the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Lucy.
Okay. Bye-bye, Claire.
Bye.